I am honored to serve as your Member of Parliament, and I will be Master of Ceremonies for today's event. I'd like to start today by acknowledging that we are gathered here today in Mi'kma'ki, the ancestral and unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people. We honor their enduring connection to this land and affirm our commitment to reconciliation. I'd like to thank you, my partners, stakeholders, members of media, community representatives that are here today for joining us in marking an important milestone for clean energy in our province. Being from Queens County, today's announcement is a special one. Growing up in Queens County has not only shaped who I am, it has instilled in me a very deep appreciation for people, places, and values that define our community. That's why today's announcement here at home carries such personal significance. Standing in the very county, where I spent my childhood, not just representing it, but returning to its service. It reminds me why this work matters, working with these people every day, and why this matters. Every step forward that we take together is rooted in the pride that I feel for this place and the commitment that I have to the families and the communities who helped raise me. Today's announcement also reflects what can be achieved when governments, investors, and industry work together with a shared purpose. Projects like this help strengthen our electricity grid, expand renewable energy generation, and support our transition to a more sustainable economy. This project stacks funding from multiple ministries, has all three levels of governments contributing, and includes capital investments. Getting this announcement collated here today has given me the well-deserved title of the most polite and respectful bug on the hill, a title that I hold with the utmost gratitude. Today, I am pleased to be joined by the Honorable Gregor Robertson, Housing Minister and Infrastructure, and also the Minister responsible for Pacific Economic Development Canada. I'm also pleased to join the Honorable Tim Hodgson, Minister of Energy and Natural Resources, the Honorable Tim Hodgson, Premier of Nova Scotia, Dan Roscoe, President of Renewall Energy. It's great to see we made it through the finish line here, Dan. Mike Shoen, the Director of Investments at the Canadian Infrastructure Bank, and Scott Christian, Mayor of the Region of Queens Municipality. Wow, there's lots of, right? Lots of men here today, so I'm going to hold it down for us, ladies. So, investments in infrastructure are about more than physical assets. They are about supporting jobs, encouraging innovation, and ensuring communities are well positioned for our future, something that our Prime Minister has talked at length. Partners presented here today demonstrate what we can achieve when organizations work together with a shared commitment to progress. Isn't that why we're in government? To help further progress. I am proud to be part of a government which engages and encourages these types of partnerships. All right, so now we're at a time where I get to introduce all of the wonderful people here today. I'd like to first introduce Minister Robertson, please. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jessica, and good morning, everyone. Bonjour à tous. It's great to be here on the East Coast. As I said to your Premier and to Jessica earlier, I'm a West Coast guy. It's great to be doing West Coast economic development, and it's fantastic to be here on the East Coast. Seeing this happen at this scale, and most of all being by a beautiful beach with beautiful people, who understand how important our coasts are, and the resources that we have, the untapped resources that can make life better for all Canadians, but really enable our coasts, our distant coasts. It's a long way from central Canada that we come out to these coasts, have so much to offer, so much to give to the rest of Canada. Great to be here with all our colleagues who've been introduced already. And as Jessica said, we are here on the federal front to build Canada strong. That's the words that we live by right now every single day. And so happy to be here to announce a couple months ago 1,400 homes in partnership with the Nova Scotia government. We announced at Shannon Park in December, and Nova Scotia was the first province to kick into gear with Build Canada Homes, with those 1,400 affordable homes. Set the bar for the rest of the country. BC is chasing. Congratulations. That's the leadership that we need on the housing front, and fantastic to be here on the infrastructure front. Those are the two hats that I wear. To see Nova Scotia leading, setting the pace for the country. That's really critical right now, particularly with clean energy and clean infrastructure. This is all about that future. So, pour partir à l'économie la plus forte de G7 et préparer nos communautés pour l'avenir. Building a future where Canada is a global leader in innovation and clean technology, where Canadians from every province and territory are well equipped to really seize these economic benefits from a clean energy future. Today's announcement is an important part of setting up Nova Scotia for that future. Ces projets représentent un investissement majeur dans l'énergie propre et fiable et démontrent comment les partenaires publics et privés peuvent collaborer afin de construire des infrastructures qui profitent aux communautés, aux clients et au climat. Today, I'm pleased to announce a $206 million loan from the Canada Infrastructure Bank. My colleague here, Mike Shoen, has been leading the charge on the CIB front, and we'll speak to the details of that. This is, as Jessica said, all about partnership and bringing the infrastructure bank, the assets that we have collectively as Canadians, to the table in partnership with Slate Asset Management and Hamilton Lane to support the development of this wind farm along the Mersey River, which will include installation of 33 wind turbines and related grid infrastructure. We are really proud to see this project produce almost 150 megawatts of zero emission electricity, preventing 220,000 tons of greenhouse gas emissions. That is pollution in a nutshell that will happen because of this investment and the build out that you're doing here on the coast of Nova Scotia. A really important piece of energy security, obviously, but also making sure there's reliable and affordable clean grid coming together here. So making that difference for the regional economy, Jessica spoke about her roots here. We need these investments in rural Canada. I serve in Vancouver. I was a mayor in Vancouver, and I serve in a neighborhood of Vancouver right now, but have lived a good chunk of my life in rural Canada and BC, and know how critical it is to be investing rurally and supporting rural economies, creating the jobs that we need across Canada. Most of Canada is rural. Most Canadians live in urban environments, but we've got to make sure we strike that balance and support both. So I know we'll hear the important choice that this Nova Scotians with respect to their energy. A lot is changing right now. The world is an unstable place, and we are doing everything we can as the government of Canada to make sure we're creating more stability and we're creating more opportunity for people across the country. When we don't know what's next economically, we can't rely on our partners to the south. We've got to invest in ourselves. Housing and infrastructure are at the core of that. So I'm honored to be here to help deliver on the infrastructure piece this time. I look forward to being back on both fronts to do more on housing and infrastructure as we continue to scale up the work that we do across the country. I just say in closing, investing, we're investing ultimately all of our tax dollars in these priorities. And that's what we were elected to do in Ottawa, was to set these priorities. I'd say we're really honored to work with Prime Minister Mark Carney. His leadership has been incredible for us as Canadians, but the insights he has on the global economy, the challenges that we face right now, and the importance of this investment in Canada for Canadians, Canadian materials, wherever humanly possible, are now the policy of Canada's government to buy Canadian. And we need to be producing our energy. We need to be exporting wherever we can, including the United States, but we're very focused on many other places. The Prime Minister is off to India, Australia, and Japan today to start pushing forward on those trade deals. But it's both those trade deals and it's what we can do here with our domestic economy. Aujourd'hui, vous contribuerez à faire progresser en Nouvelle-Écosse en renforçant la sécurité énergétique et en bâtissant un avenir plus durable pour les générations de futur. Today, we build a stronger Nova Scotia and we are building Canada strong. Merci à tous. Thank you very much. And congratulations.
Thank you so much for that, Minister Robertson. And I will add that he's been a huge advocate for rural areas like our ride. Now on to Minister Tim Hodgson for Energy and Natural Resources. And actually, Minister Hodgson was one of the first people I met coming up to Ottawa as a new member of Parliament. All three of us are new members of Parliament, and Mr. Hodgson was in the same orientation group that I was in. So as we're coming up to the hill and all of the new stuff. So I just want to really say it's been great getting to know both of you, and I'd like to welcome Minister Hodgson. Thank you.
Bonjour tout le monde, and hello. And Jessica said that she's shaped by growing up here. This is a really special moment for me. I was an Air Force brat, living all across the country, and I've talked about how that has shaped who I am and why I'm doing what I'm doing. And a really, really important part of my childhood was I lived for 2 years in Barrington Passage in this riding. And I have the fondest memories of growing up in a small town where everyone knew everyone, where everyone pulled together and helped everyone else, and where some people did some amazing things. I was actually just I had to go check in my phone. A guy named Phil Scott from Barrington, the 9-time world log rolling champion from Barrington. And he used to be on Wide World of Sports. I'm too old, but for those of you who remember Wide World of Sports, every year he'd get on there and kick everybody's butt. A good guy from Barrington. So it's really great to be back here. And it's great to be with friends like Minister Robertson and Jessica and Premier Houston and Mayor Christian. It's nice to meet you and to have people from the Canada Infrastructure Bank, Slate Asset Management, Renewall Energy. I think what this says when you see all of these people here is today is a big deal. Today's important because this is exactly what we mean when we say Canada is building things again. We're making ambitious energy projects happen today, right here in Nova Scotia, and doing it in a way that ensures stable, affordable electricity bills, that strengthens our economy and creates jobs and makes Canada an energy superpower from coast to Nova Scotia coast. This is why, along with the the Canada Infrastructure Bank loan that Minister Robertson announced, that my department, Natural Resources Canada, is investing $25 million through our Smart Renewables and Electrification Pathway program to make this happen. And I also want to say this project will be eligible for up to $122.5 million in clean energy investment tax credits, which will help make sure this is a great project. We will, as Minister Robertson said, be enabling 150 megawatts of clean renewable electricity right here in Nova Scotia. So what does that mean? It means enough electricity to power 50,000 Nova Scotia homes. It means that electricity is made at home using Nova Scotia world-class wind resources so we can stabilize prices here and we don't have to import power from other countries. And it means over 300 good jobs right here in rural Nova Scotia during construction and in the years to come. Additionally, I'm also excited to announce that NRCan is committing nearly $5 million in funding to the Net Zero Atlantic for data analysis and modeling for the Atlantic Offshore Wind and Transmission Project. This will help us understand where future offshore wind power could go from the East Coast and how it could reliably be connected to electricity systems in Nova Scotia and laying the groundwork for future investment here in Nova Scotia. This is the next following referral of the Atlantic Energy Partnership as a transformative strategy to the Major Projects Office last September. Moving forward on the proposed Wind West project in partnership with Nova Scotia. We've been talking about offshore wind for years and how we can use the fact that we have some of the best wind in the world to benefit Maritimers and all Canadians. Now we're doing it. This is the Government of Canada moving from delay to deliver. We will deliver for you. And this announcement is part of a much bigger story. Ladies and gentlemen, Canada is at a pivotal moment. We're facing disruptions in our markets, in our trade, in our security, and in climate. To stay competitive and protect our quality of life, we need to focus on our domestic strengths and give ourselves more than any other country can take away from us. This means we need to build projects and infrastructure that allow us to rely more on the energy and resources we produce here at home, and less on those produced in other countries. To generate prosperity for Canadian families where they live, and to move towards cleaner energy systems that will pave the way to a low-carbon future. To do this, our federal government is advancing a massive effort to catalyze private investment, to build out our grid, to scale clean technologies, and to protect affordability and quality of life that Canadians deserve. By working on these goals together with provinces, territories, and municipalities, and Indigenous partners and industry, we will unlock Canada's full potential to be an energy superpower. This is happening as we speak, and it is happening right here in Nova Scotia. Thank you very much.
Always good to talk to another South Shore individual. Thank you very much, Minister Hodgson. I'd now like to call upon Nova Scotia Premier and Minister of Energy, Mr. Tim Hodgson. Thank you, Tim.
Wow, thank you, Jessica. What an amazing day for our province. This is really an incredible day. So glad to see everyone here at this incredible jewel of Nova Scotia, White Point Beach Lodge. What a destination we have here in an incredible province. This is just a little speck of the 13,000 kilometers of coastline that we have here. Some of the best golf in the world is only a couple hours drive from here. We have a lot going on. Our own Napa Valley of the East, we call it, incredible wine region of the valley. We have a lot going on in Nova Scotia. So I'm really proud to be Premier of this province at this point in time. And I'm really proud to work with our federal colleagues. The leadership of Prime Minister Carney is really moving our country forward in so many ways. And I'm really, really, really honored that he stepped up to be the Prime Minister of our country at this point in time. And I love working with him. And Minister Robertson, that announcement at Shannon Park was so significant on affordable housing. We really appreciate that and your support on that project and his announcement as well. And I just want to say he's traveled here from Ottawa, and now he's going to go all the way back to the West Coast tonight. So he made a big, it means so much that you're here. We know the demands on your time. We're so honored that you're here. And Minister Hodgson, welcome home. From one Air Force brat to another, we appreciate everything you do, the relationship that we have, your belief in this province and the contribution that Nova Scotia can make to Canada's ambitious goal to be an energy superpower. Nova Scotia is right there with you on that, and we appreciate everything you're doing on that front as well. So the relationship is a great one, and very pleased to be with my colleague in the legislature, the MLA for this area, Minister Masland, Minister of EMO, and Department of Natural Resources, formerly Public Transport. She's my go-to. She's a relationship builder, and I'm honored to serve with you, Kim. So I'm really pleased that you're here for this important announcement for our province. But the significance of today. This is a culmination of a long journey. And Dan and his team, and with the folks at the Department of Energy, there's a bunch of people from the Department of Energy here today, and I have to give a special shout out to my colleague Dave McGregor, who's worked really hard on this file, and others as well. But this has been a long journey, and this Mersey River wind farm is so much more than just a wind farm. It really is a significant moment for our province because, of course, it means clean energy, it means jobs, but what this really means for so many Nova Scotians today is hope, because Renewall is the first company that is added to the renewable to retail program that this province has. So this will offer Nova Scotians choice in where they buy their power. It's competition added to our province, and those are things that are always good, but certainly in the world we live in today, they're even more significant. So really happy and really proud that you persevered through a long journey on that. But of course, it doesn't happen without people making it happen in that perseverance, but a little cash helps as well. So to the investors that were there from the beginning as well, and $216 million from the Canada Infrastructure Bank. It didn't get a round of applause when he said it the first time, but $216 million of investment in our province. That is a big deal. So I'm excited about the future of the renewables to retail program for our province, and I'm so pleased that it's starting today. It's a big deal. And of course, I can't be talking about energy in Nova Scotia without talking about the Wind West opportunity that we have as a province. We have an incredible offshore resource. The wind it's world class. The Wind West opportunity is, if it's not the best offshore wind opportunity in the world, it probably is the best. But if it's not, it's certainly one of them. The wind is powerful out there. The wind speeds are incredible. It blows a lot. The bottom depths are good, less than 100 meters or less for fixed structures. So the technology is there. So we have every opportunity to be a leader in energy for sure with that project and others. But the next step along that journey is the market assessment, the feasibility, the technical analysis. And so the $5 million investment from the federal government to move to that step is so meaningful for Nova Scotians. Thank you, Mr. Hodgson. I know that you... I know that you took a personal interest in pushing that through and advancing that, and it's really important for our country. The opportunities are significant there, and the province happy to do our part on that as well. The province will be investing almost $700,000 in that stage as well as we move along in that journey. But the Wind West potential is amazing. I'm really, really excited about the future of Nova Scotia, and I couldn't be more proud to be the Premier at this moment. So thank you for being here to share in this moment. But this is a good day for our province. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. And I'd like to add as well, on behalf of both of the ministers here today and on behalf of the Government of Canada, that we are proud as Punch to help provide investment and help support our local workers and help support and put Nova Scotia on the map. So I really want to say, anything that we can do to help create and strengthen those partnerships and collaboration. But now let's get on to the man of the minute, if I'm allowed to say that. I'd like to introduce Dan Roscoe, President of Renewall Energy Incorporated. And I think we met, you were probably one of the first people that I met when I first got this position back in late April, early May, and talking about the amount of pride that you had, the amount of time and energy, maybe some blood, sweat, and tears have gone into this project, but I am so proud to say we got it past the finish line. So I'd like to welcome Dan. Thank you.
Thank you all for being here. Premier Houston, Minister Robertson, Minister Hodgson, Mr. Maslin, Mayor Christian, MP Fancy, Director Shoen, thank you all for being here in Mi'kma'ki on Nova Scotia's beautiful South Shore for this exciting announcement. It has been 4.5 years since we were first awarded our retail electricity license. It has been a humbling experience and we've learned so much. Part of our working group with Wesohoba, we were invited to showcase some Mi'kmaq artifacts that were recently uncovered. At that event, I was able to hold an arrowhead in my hand that was estimated to be between 6,000 and 8,000 years old. Older than the pyramids, older than written history itself. It was truly a life-changing and profound experience for me. This learning impacts and reflects how we are choosing to build the Mersey River wind farm, alongside one of the greatest of the 42 traditional rivers of Mi'kma'ki, with careful consideration and great respect for the land and the people who have called it home for millennia. To Slate, to Hamilton Lane, to CIB, to Enercan, to the original investors in Roswell, being bold and changing systems comes with risk. Thank you all for believing in this project and the potential of local renewable energy. Minister Robertson and Minister Hodgson, the journey you made to be here with us today for this important moment is one of the many ways that your government is operationalizing the commitment to building Canada strong. Your investment and support for Mersey River Wind means a great deal for us. And I think we all know this couldn't have happened without our local MP and champion, Jessica Fancy. Thank you all. Premier Houston, your presence here today is greatly appreciated. Your government's work to create an independent system operator and shining electricity competition and legislation is complementary to our vision for Nova Scotia's energy sector. We look forward to increasing collaboration to achieve our common goals moving forward. To the Department of Energy, especially David McGregor, we really appreciate your hard work and going above and beyond. In addition, thank you to White Point for being a host of this beautiful location, being a supporter of Mersey River Wind, and a customer of Renewall Energy. As Minister Robertson said, this is not just another wind farm. It is a symbol of power, literally and figuratively. Every kilowatt hour of clean energy generated will be sold to Renewall Energy. Renewall will make that energy available to Nova Scotian homes and businesses who, for the first time, the where electricity comes from and how it's made. For over 20 years, I have advocated for the great renewable resources of Nova Scotia. Not only are our winds in this province strong, but they perfectly align with our energy. The year when is highest are also the windiest. But it wasn't until I had the pleasure of working with the town of Bridgewater, energy economy of our province. In a town of 10,000 people, $40 million a year left the community to import energy made from fossil fuels. $40 million a year, over $4,000 a person for the 10,000 residents of Bridgewater. That's in its entirety. If you look at that of the province, that's $4 billion a year. $4 billion a year leaving our province. You want to make Nova Scotia strong, we need to produce more of our own energy. The gasoline, diesel, natural gas, coal, and heating oil, each of these can, and I believe will, be replaced by local clean electricity. Today marks a turning point, not only how we power our lives, but how we think about our economy. This is about keeping more of our energy dollars at home, strengthening local communities, and building an energy system that serves Nova Scotians first. This project, along with Renewall's retail license, will turn these macroeconomic facts into real benefits for the people of this province. By taking fossil fuels out of the equation, by eliminating that source of volatility, customers of Renewall will benefit from stable, long-term pricing for clean electricity. Energy-intensive industries seeking to reduce risk, public services operating on fixed budgets, homeowners struggling with a higher cost of living, all stand to benefit from an energy source whose costs are fundamentally more predictable. Clean electricity is especially important for our exporters, who have to compete with industries from all over the world and are increasingly required to disclose their carbon footprint. From lobsters to lumber to beer to bug farms, from traditional industries to the newest technologies, clean energy makes the drivers of our economy more competitive. It's also important for public infrastructure. When Mersey River wind starts producing, it will power water treatment plants, ice rinks, swimming pools, long-term care facilities. It will help to stretch our tax dollars further and keep money working within our province. And finally, having a source of clean energy will help attract new business to Nova Scotia. If you are a company building a new facility, it's only logical that you would want it to be future compliant. Renewall will help attract new business to Nova Scotia, to grow our economy and make efficient use of our electricity system to the benefit of all Nova Scotians. Clean energy isn't just the right thing to do, but it's the economically smart thing to do. Being bold and utilizing our renewable resources will benefit the future of Nova Scotians for years to come, for generations to come. To the leaders of government and business who are here today, be confident that that clean energy will be the backbone of Nova Scotia's economy for the next 100 years and beyond. Be proud that you are here today. As a kid who 30 years ago wrote a junior high paper on clean energy in Nova Scotia, I know how daunting a first step towards a big goal can be. I feel immense pride in my province and my country. It takes courage. This is just the beginning of a long journey, but it's worth it. Because with cleaner, brighter, more prosperous future for all Nova Scotians. So thank you all for being here for this exciting moment. The dream has finally become a reality.
As a former educator, I bet you got an A++ on that paper there, Dan. I'd like to now introduce Mike Shoen, the Director of Investments with the Canadian Infrastructure Bank. As he's coming up here, I want to remind everybody that for South Shore St. Margaret's, today's announcement is historic, as it's the largest announcement ever been given for our riding. So I just want to say once again, thank you, Mr. Shoen, for helping make that happen.
Thank you. And it is my pleasure to be here on behalf of the Canada Infrastructure Bank to say a few words as we mark another important milestone on Nova Scotia's journey to a clean electricity future. In fact, we were here just last month announcing a new interprovincial transmission line between Nova Scotia and New Brunswick, and we're equally proud to be here today to announce our investment in Mersey River Wind. And as mentioned, this is not just any other project. It's a project that gives Nova Scotians the opportunity for the first time to purchase their electricity from 100% renewable sources, and that absolutely aligns with our objectives of providing clean, reliable, and affordable electricity for all Canadians. And so lastly, to get a project to this stage is a feat, in particular this project, and we wouldn't be here certainly without Dan and his team locally, Jeff Riley from Slate Asset Management, who when I said no, they kept coming back with things in a different lens. Certainly the collaboration, early engagement, local stakeholders, Indigenous communities, as well the support of NCAN last year, turning around a number of items quickly to make this happen. And the provincial government absolutely standing up a program like this from legislation, no small feat. And then finally, I think we need to recognize, getting to this point is frankly the easy part. The hard part now, you have to build the project to deliver the tangible benefits. So all the tradespeople and other professionals that are going to be working in all seasons to make this project a reality and deliver it. Dan, Riley, where are we? On time and on budget. So thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shoen, for that. And finally, we have one of our local grassroots advocates for this area, Scott Christian, our mayor of the Region of Queens, to take us home. Scott, there you go, Scott.
All right, I'll try to take her home. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Queens County, to Nova Scotia, for those of you who've made the trip from a little bit further. Mr. Risley likes to talk about it's always a great day in White Point. I don't know if that's always true, but it's certainly today is a great day, and it's a historic day. With this historic investment, this is a very exciting day. I'll keep my remarks short, but I just want to express the gratitude on behalf of the Region of Queens Municipality that we can be part of the solution, part of this exciting undertaking, and the gratitude I have for our federal counterparts. Thank you so much for making the trip. Thank you for your leadership and your stewardship as it relates to creating a cleaner, more resilient energy across Canada and here in Nova Scotia. Thank you. Minister, it's interesting to know that you lived in Barrington for 2.5 years, but you came away when you speak with non-regional diction. So that's just, you didn't even pronounce Barrington correctly. So but in any case, welcome back. And thanks also to provincial counterparts and Minister Maslin and Premier Houston for creating the channel for this renewable to retail model. I think it's incredibly exciting, and we're very pleased here in Queens County to be engaged in the first viable project to create that type of energy. So cleaner energy, more resilient energy. We're very, very pleased to be part of this. So a ton of gratitude, and specifically, I want to extend my gratitude to Dan, though, the man of the hour. I've just been incredibly impressed ever since I've got a chance to know Dan a little bit, and just the work that his team has done here locally in this community, because that's the role, that's the perspective that I can represent, and I can attest to just the thoughtful, deliberate, kind, compassionate, appropriate approach to doing these things in the right way. And so in engaging with the Wassahoba First Nation, in navigating the sites, and also in standing up a community liaison committee, I'm just very encouraged, as I understand that this is, for some, this is the finish line, but for many here in the local community, it's sort of we're getting out of the starting gates. And I'm just, I have all the confidence and faith in the world that as we actually do the work on the ground, that we can continue to be really effective partners, and that Dan and his team will continue to be just incredible corporate entity with respect to doing this in the right way. So I thank you very much for your vision. You should be very proud. I'm proud of you. I should be very proud of this moment, and I just have a ton of gratitude for everybody who's contributed to making this a viable project. So thank you all for being here, and yeah. I don't have anything more to say. I took it. I've effectively taken it home. Okay, so there you go. Thank you.
Wonderful. So thank you, everybody, for being here. At this time, we're going to have Minister Robertson's press secretary moderate media questions. Ross Margarets, this is your time to shine.
Hello, everyone. Roscoe. I'm not Ross, but I will do my best to so as Nancy said, we will now move to the media availability portion of the announcement. So we'll start with questions in the room. So if journalists just want to put their hands up, I can walk the microphone around. And we just ask that if you have a question for any specific speaker, that you can direct it to them so we can have the right person up at the podium. And before you ask your question, please just state your name and the outlet from which you're reporting. We'll start with one question, one follow-up to make sure we have time for everyone. Hi, Taryn Grant with CBC. Mr. Roscoe, can you take up? You talked about rate stability and affordability. How are your rates going to compare to those of Nova Scotia Power?
Renewal's rates will be competitive with Nova Scotia Power's rates, with the benefit that they will be locked in over long term. So our customers will be able to know not just the price when they start taking service, but throughout the life of the contract.
You talked about 20 years of advocacy, 4.5 years since you got the license. You're the only license holder in the renewable to retail program right now. It sounds like it's been a real slog to get to this point. How scalable is this?
Great question, and it has been, doing anything new and innovative always takes time, and probably more time than one would estimate, but this is very much scalable. This is the start of a new market, not only options for customers, but for other projects to come ahead. So we see a long runway of projects, not just the Mersey wind farm, but other wind farms throughout Nova Scotia, other renewable energy types to be able to come forward to continue to provide more choice and more options for customers, especially as the demand for electricity will be growing. We see a huge opportunity to grow this and to work with our partners and our customers to bring more energy to Nova Scotia.
Thanks, Karen. I'm just looking around the room if there's anyone else in here. All right, here we go, sir.
Hi, John McGinnis, CTV News. What can you tell us about what type of information the on-site test towers have provided you?
So we have been testing the wind resource at Mersey for over 3 years now. Nova Scotia has a great renewable resource, but we do measure the specific the wind at each location. Mersey is not the windiest spot in Nova Scotia, but it has a good consistent wind. And another aspect of this project that has there's good electricity infrastructure here. Because of the hydro dams and the former mill here, there are ample transmission. We are tying into a substation that has over 8 transmission lines. So there's not only the wind resource capacity, there's existing infrastructure and roads that we're utilizing, and there's existing electrical infrastructure as well.
Are customers able to sign up right now, and if so, has anybody signed up?
Yes, we have a number of customers. We have 32 commercial industrial customers already signed up, and customers from homeowners to businesses, institutions can sign up on our website today, yes.
Thank you very much. Just want to make sure I haven't missed anyone in the room before we get to those on the line.
Evan Taylor with Acadia Broadcasting. Just wondering if you could kind of lay out timelines as to when you may actually be able to access this power.
Great. Customers will start transitioning to Renewal once Mersey starts producing energy. Our turbines are expected to arrive in September, so we hope by the end of the year the first turbines will operating and the first customers will will start transitioning. That transition will work its way into 2027. Before all the first 20 turbines are installed. Right now we have 20 underway, and the other 13 will likely come later in 2027.
And how will transmission work of this electricity? Will be using existing infrastructure, or are you building out your own?
We are building a few kilometers of new transmission line to connect the wind farm to grid, but Renewal will pay for use of the transmission and distribution system to get the power that's generated to Mersey directly to customers. We pay a suite of tariffs that's regulated by the board in order to do that.
Thank you so much. I think we'll now turn it over to media we have joining us online. So I'll pass it to digital operators.
Yes, Darius, please.
Very technical difficulties.
Wind farms in the region, we will need the blade factories, power factories, potentially even a turbine factory. Could you say what your ambitions are in that regard, please?
Can you repeat that question? I didn't hear the beginning of it.
Oh, I beg your pardon. I want to know about sort of post startup. This is one wind farm. We have ambitions, obviously, in this country to build much more widely in the region. I'd like to know what your views are on supply chain development around towers, blades, even turbines for future wind farms, please.
Yes, we think there's a long runway of opportunity for both onshore and offshore wind here in Nova Scotia. As we continue to electrify things like heating and transportation, there'll be a definite need for more renewable energy. We think, the wind turbine supply chain is a very robust and international one, much more diverse, and there's much more opportunity. And I think as we continue our path forward, as others, especially to the south of us, hesitate, I think there's ample opportunity for us to have sufficient supply chain to meet the needs of Nova Scotia going forward.
Very good. Sorry, I may have missed it, but who is supplying your turbines, please?
We're working with Vestas to supply the turbines for the Mersey River wind farm, and we're very excited about that.
And what nameplate, please?
We have 33 4.5 megawatt V150 turbines.
Thank you. Jeff Jones.
Hi there, Jeff Jones at the Globe and Mail. Couple of questions for you. First of all, was there consideration given to battery storage to accompany the turbines? And second of all, would it be fair to say that this is, for somebody who's not incredibly familiar with the Nova Scotia power market, that this is essentially breaking the monopoly that Nova Scotia Power has had?
Yeah, to answer your first questions about batteries, batteries are going to play an extremely important role in the Nova Scotia electricity market, both in the work that Renewal is doing and in the market in general. And yes, this is providing customers choice for the first time. We have had a public monopoly and utility for a long time in Nova Scotia, and for the first time at a retail level, customers will now have a choice.
Aaron Besser?
Yeah, where does the power come from for your customers? Like, obviously the wind doesn't blow sometimes. So where do those electrons come from when your turbines are installed?
So the size of the renewable retail market, we will only be able to sign up customers that we can serve from energy, from first the Mersey River wind farm, but we will build other projects in the future as well. In hour by hour, as there may be variations in the demands of our customers and the supply from Mersey River wind farm, we will work with Nova Scotia Power to kind of balance the energy to make sure our customers receive consistent meet their consistent need of their energy.
Yeah, because I mean, like people, it's not like we think of the electricity. You can correct me on this. Is the electricity system is a big old pot of soup, right? And you're putting electrons into Nova Scotia Power's distribution network, and Nova Scotia Power has many different facilities, and we have many other private operators putting electrons in. I guess you have to contract with Nova Scotia Power because we recently had a time where we almost had brownouts here. Like you have to contract with them for times when it won't be green energy, presumably get involved.
So there's a suite of tariffs associated with the renewable to retail program that meet all of the requirements for transmission, distribution, capacity, and balancing. So those tariffs are regulated by the board, and our generation and our customers' demands feed into the work that now the system operator will do for load forecasting and generation supply so that the needs of the customers are met long term.
What's the interest rate on the loan, this sub-million-dollar loan from the CFIB?
The details of our financing haven't been disclosed. The CIB provides competitive financing and in markets that otherwise, this is a new entity. We're not selling to a public entity, so this is a first, and the CIB's loan arrangement reflects that.
Any other questions in the room or online?
I think we have time for a couple more. So I'll go to Taryn first.
Yeah.
Can you speak about some of the challenges of the renewable to retail program and how you think it might be improved so that we could see potentially more competitors come online?
Good question. The renewable to retail program is complicated by its nature. As I said, there's 5 different tariffs, and as the grid evolves, those tariffs evolve with them. We actually very much support the work of the independent system operator to make a lot of those inputs more objective. Things like marginal cost and planning of forecasting of capacity needs going forward. We're very interested in procurements for capacity and things like batteries going forward as well. So we actually very much support the recent work of both the government, both in setting up the system operator and for enshrining electricity competition in legislation. That provides essential guidance for the board in making decisions on those tariffs going forward.
I actually have a question for the Premier and one for Mr. Hodgson. You guys
He's a lot smarter. You go first. You want it.
just one at a time.
I was just saying to the Premier, wow, this is really good. We're getting off easy.
Well, this question is for our colleagues, so we're seeing that LNG is coming from as far away as Australia. The question is, why are we not taking advantage of our facilities here for our own LNG?
Well, what I would say is I think Premier Houston is actually working on developing the natural gas resources in Nova Scotia today. We've had many conversations about this, and I tell you, when those resources are developed, we have a lot of allies around the world that want to buy them.
And now for my question about what's going on here today. What kind of a blueprint might this provide for future situations like this here in Nova Scotia and across the country?
Do you want to go? Tyler, you talk about here, and I'll talk about around.
Just a couple of Nova Scotians dealing with the media here. First off, on the first question, I do want to speak to that because we do have incredible resources here in Nova Scotia for natural gas onshore and offshore, and those are two areas where we're moving forward. On the onshore, we just have an agreement with Dalhousie to look at what can be done safely and sustainably and understand that resource and understand what's possible. So that's an active file on onshore developments. I'm really excited about that. And there are currently bids on the offshore, which will close towards the end of March, I think, maybe into April. But there's interest, I would say, in the offshore resources as well. So we're kind of pulling on many levers right now on the energy front, certainly with wind, onshore, offshore gas, onshore, offshore oil as well, solar, geothermal. We have a lot of potential, so we're pushing on. It's very much an all of the above approach for Nova Scotia at this moment. So that's an exciting time. But I think in terms of I think the question is, what does this mean for Nova Scotians this day here going forward? And I think as soon as you can introduce true choice for consumers, that's a good thing. There hasn't been true choice. It's been a monopoly for a long time, and that comes with all kinds of stuff on both sides of the ledger there, right? But I think it's definitely time people are looking for choice. They're looking for competition in the market. So a lot of this we've been taking, certainly as a government, have been building up to this moment, and it is very much the start now because it will open doors and it will open eyes and it will open opportunity for others to both come on board as a producer, but also, customers are going to be probably, you should have gave your website, they would probably be hitting it today because the appetite is there. So it's this is a really positive project in and of itself, but it is a very, very significant moment for our province. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, and what does this mean for the future? The Prime Minister has indicated we're going to be coming up with a national electricity strategy in the next couple of weeks. I learned a long time ago not to scoop my boss, but maybe a couple of obvious things. Today we have 13 different electricity systems in this country that are not as interconnected as they could be, to the extent that we are facilitating the I'll call it de-islanding of our grids. It will make it easier to share renewable resources across borders. It will allow us to take advantage of each individual region's particular gifts. The gift here in Nova Scotia with respect to offshore wind, it is truly an amazing resource. When I go around the world and talk about the capacity factors of the offshore wind here, people's jaws drop. That's something that when we develop it, we need to be able to share it with other regions of this country. Having better interties between our systems and our different grid operators is going to be really important. You look at developing that wind and connecting it to things like the hydro in Labrador and Quebec, which would create the biggest batteries in the world. These are opportunities we have as a country. There are other provinces that are looking at nuclear. Well, when you add in zero carbon emission baseload nuclear, all of a sudden you can do things with your wind resources in terms of delivering predictable, firm power that you couldn't do before. So there's you're seeing the start of a national energy strategy designed to take what is already a big advantage for Canada. Canada has some of the lowest electricity prices in the world. We're going to build on that advantage and make Canada stronger.
Last question, Darius.
Yes, thanks. Well, I could pick up the thread actually, Mr. Hodgson and Premier Houston, on the significance of the go-ahead of the feed studies on.
So I didn't hear the question. I thought I was off the hook.
Harrison.
Yes, what the significance of the wind must be said.
So as Premier Houston said, getting the data right and looking at the technologies that are available today allows us to take advantage of this resource. It is truly a world-class resource. It has got some of the best capacities anywhere in the world, and if we can harness that energy using the best technology in the world, it's an opportunity to bring energy-intensive industry right here to Nova Scotia. That's a win for Nova Scotians. That will encourage more development, which will bring we've got 55 gigawatts. So just to put that in perspective, I think the grid today in Nova Scotia uses 3 or 2. Okay, think about what that could mean for this economy if you had access to that type of energy. Think about the industry that would be interested in coming here. When you look at what AI is doing right now to energy demand, the fact that we have this incredible resource is a gift that we need to develop.
Evan Taylor with Acadia Broadcasting again for the Premier. My first question, I guess, relates to, you've talked about how this sort of changes the monopolistic nature of the energy sector here for consumers, but wondering if you could talk about how that influences the power dynamic the government now has with Nova Scotia Power. Are things changing, or is it business as usual?
Well, the market changes, right? So we've I think my thoughts on some of the power situation in the province have been pretty well known, and we're obviously have made a pretty significant filing in the current rate case. We're against the rate increase, and we have some other things we think the board should look at. So, they're part of the province, they're part of the equation, and with now added competition, this is the day for the consumers. This is a good day for consumers, so I'm pleased.
Back to the consumers. In this announcement, we heard that this would generate for up to 55,000 homes. I would assume that's going to be kind of localized to this area where the wind's generated. What messaging would you have to those not 55,000 homes in the wider range of Nova Scotia? Is there more projects like this?
Yeah, I think this is and I know Dan's an ambitious guy too. He's got some plans, but there'll be others. I think this renewable to retail program had in there. We only have one producer in it, but I think this will open the eyes for opportunity to producers, but certainly to customers. So it's a really good day, and I just wanted to say I'll finish with the significance of the feasibility study. Like, to move that project forward it's a really big moment. The resource is out there, and there is a team from Net Zero here Atlantic today who can speak to some of that resource opportunity that's out there. But the main constraint on that is not the wind. The wind is there, and it blows a lot. But the constraint would be, where's the power going to go, and how are we going to move it? So that's what this is about today. And I think that the reason that I'm so excited about this is the economic development opportunities come in phases. So first off, you got to build the generation, you got to build the transmission. That's lots of jobs, thousands of jobs, huge impact on families and stuff. But then, as Minister Hodgson said, that will, industry is looking for energy too. So then industry can follow that and come here. So then you have jobs building industry, building plants, so you have, and then you have plants and factories and businesses, and people can have careers in those for the long term. So you have the initial build out, and then the build out again of the actual factories and stuff, and then you have the long term. So it's an exciting day, and this market assessment, the data, the feasibility stuff is the next step that we've been working on pretty hard to get here as well. So, and then there'll be other stages, but we're moving in the right direction in a very positive way. So thanks everyone for joining us. I think, is that it? Or?
I think we have one more from Minister Hodgson from CBC, and then we'll wrap.
Okay. Back. Oh, you're back. He literally just said, I don't want to jinx it, but we might get out without a single question.
Minister, I know ultimately the buck stops with your boss in Ottawa on this, but as Energy Minister, I want to know what you think about how much more fully formed the Wind West project needs to be before Ottawa would declare it a project of national interest and commit funds to the transmission line.
So what we need is a private sector proponent to be ready to put it forward. The province, the federal government is working with a number of different organizations that have expressed interest in tackling that resource. We're working with a number of those groups that are looking at different technologies and different strategies on how they will bring that resource to market, looking at how it ties into bigger regional plays. And when we have those proponents ready, that's when they would go to the major projects office, and that's when their decision would be to move it from a strategy to an individual project.
Actual last thing is Dan is going to just come up and add on to the previous question.
Yeah, I just wanted to highlight that something you asked about the customers. Our license is good for anywhere within the Nova Scotia power grid, so it won't be limited to people here. We've made a good effort to sign up people that are local. We've tried to make sure that people within Queens have access to our program, but our license is good for everyone throughout. So we have customers signed up from Yarmouth to Sydney and everywhere in between.
All right, and that concludes media availability. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great day.